Danny is able to bring Paul and Isaac together. You know, Paul and Isaac have a beef because it was because of Paul's decision to go to Las Vegas that has put Isaac in trouble. Danny is able to meet up with Amy and try to squash their beef, though it was initiated by Amy. Now Amy he just wants to pay Danny and ask Danny to be the one to take responsibility for the road rage and to take the blame. But then, so they're able to actually work that out. Then Danny is able to do other things. He gets Isaac jailed because now he switches and says, you know, an anonymous tip. He sends an anonymous tip that the truck belonged to Isaac. So Isaac goes to jail. And then now, on the other side in terms of the church, they go for a basketball team, and there was a character, I don't know if you remember, there was a character of Edwin, who was the leader of the church, who married Veronica. Veronica was Danny's first love. They have a basketball match at the end of the series, and we get to see Edwin come out because thanks to Danny, they're able to beat the church team, and we get to see Edwin lose his mind, and who comes on top? Danny. So this for me was a very interesting show for Danny. This was a feel-good episode for Danny. At least something good was happening with Danny. Apart from sending Isaac to jail, they actually had a moment with Isaac where Isaac goes like, you know, I trust you, and Isaac makes the biggest mistake of showing Danny where he keeps his money and telling him how he kind of works around his business. But Isaac now becomes vulnerable in front of Danny, but Danny does that at the end. He actually makes him go to jail. So a lot of things happen. I don't know how these people are able to run the show, because a lot of things happened in this episode, and they were able, all of those things were able to happen within a time span of 30 minutes and 35 minutes. So it's incredible how they're able to compress and bring everything together. We get to see more of Fumi. Did not die. You know, at the end of episode 5, something happened to Fumi when Bobby and Michael actually, you know, came in to steal, and then they found Fumi. She did not die. That confrontation, she actually just got injured. And now we have the tension between Fumi and Amy, because Amy knows that Fumi actually might have seen what happened. She might be aware of Paul and the relationship between Paul and Amy. We also get to find out that George was having a relationship with Mia. But now they've broken up, but then we get to discover that Mia was actually cheating with him because she only needed contacts. She was using him to get into the gallery world and to get into this particular one, because there's something she says at the end when they actually separate, and I go like, what? Even George goes like, what? Yeah, she was, and that just again opens another can of worms with George. Now all that together, Amy's incident and George's now revolution, it all comes together when Junie actually vomits on the carpet, and so they're trying to clean the carpet, and we see them have a conversation. Amy and George have a conversation, and we get to learn to see them now go back to the basics, which is caring about June. Because June, on the other hand, because there was a point that Fumi was on medication, she actually talked about what she thought about the relationship between Amy and George when June was there. She talked about the fact that the two could separate, and so you could see just how affected June was. June is the kid, and so when the puking happens and we learn that June is worried about the two separating, we see a touching moment between the three of them. You know, Amy and George actually have now gone back to understanding that it's all about the kid, you know, it's all about them. And so there was a side, and this is why I say a lot of things happen in this episode. Amy and Danny meet up to squash the beef, and that goes the way it goes. I don't want to spoil for people. It's a very interesting sequence. Isaac, Bobby, and Michael join the church. Again, another interesting scene, especially with how Isaac tries to get into the social dynamics of that particular church, and he looks like he's falling for a particular church member. Sad that things don't go the way he wanted, but you just get to see a different. This feels different. This episode feels different, and it's a feel-good episode for me. Yes, you have the drama. Yes, you have Naomi. Naomi calls, and this just complicates everything. Now, Fumi, on the other hand, despite the fact that Isaac was sold out by Danny, Fumi confesses that she was the one with the white SUV. And so Naomi buys it, and Naomi actually calls Amy to apologize. So everything now looks like it has settled down. Everything, the beefs look like they might be squashed. Isaac is away. Dali has been elevated. He has access to the money that Isaac has. Isaac has gone to jail. Paul is easy with him. Him and Paul have squashed their beef, so they are kind of cool. They're kind of, because now Paul actually confessed that he had broken up with Amy. They are broken up with Kyla, so they're cool. So everything looks like it's going well for Danny. Everything looks like it's going on with Amy, because now again she's coming into that realization that June is important. Fumi, well, I don't know what they're going to do with her, but I hope everything goes well for her. So this was a feel good episode. I enjoyed so much. Did I have a problem with the pop music? Of course I did. That pop music doesn't work for me. But hey, episode 6 of Beef was it was awesome, and I was particularly impressed by just how much they were able to cram into one particular episode. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you on episode 7.